Welcome back to Wind Against Tide. As always, I am Dave Standing and I'm joined here with my good buddy, world's best co-host, world's best burger cooker, Joey Fernan. How are you, Joseph?
Davey, awesome to be here. Looking forward to getting stuck into our new series here at WAT. So let's get straight stuck into it, my friend.
That's right. Now, every week we do a live broadcast to YouTube, and it's great to be joined by all our mates on there. But we're changing it up a little bit now, Joey. We're going to do some pre-recorded episodes, shorten them up a bit, tighten them up, make them really good quality, and then we're going to send them out to the world. Yeah. Doesn't mean there's going to be no more live broadcasts because we do love that with the interaction with everyone, but we're just going to do a few of these short, snappy ones just to keep you guys entertained throughout the week. And I guess to take a little bit of the load off ourselves as well, Joey, because we are bloody hard workers and it's hard to find time sometimes to make this as good as it needs to be.
Oh, and we do this because we love doing it and we love the enjoyment that it brings to everybody. So we want to keep doing it. And by pre-recording as well, it's going to allow us to actually pump out more content
100%.
More than ever. So, yeah.
Now, last week we had Justin Church on, and it was a big episode. We had a lot of feedback on that episode. A lot of people enjoyed it, thankfully. I thought it was really insightful. But
he's a smart guy, Justin.
Very smart guy.
Smart guy, MBA, studied criminal law. His retention of information is
NBA.
Absolutely incredible.
I didn't know he was a basketballer. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
No, he's...
Go on.
No, I've just interrupted you with a crap joke.
Oh, it's okay.
So I think what we wanted to briefly discuss tonight, Joey, without running over everything all over again, is maybe the fact that we want to make our stance quite clear in that we're pretty against the whole concept of jamming all these wind turbines throughout our beautiful untouched resources that are the Southern Ocean. I know I speak for myself and maybe you, Joey. I just think visually it's a really big impact on the natural environment, but probably the most concerning thing to me is the potential damage that it could do to wildlife. I think what I got from last week was there was too many uncertainties and unknowns, especially regarding the impact to bird life especially, and migrating whales, dolphins, etc., etc. Is that what you got out of that one, Joey, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the wildlife, 100%. There's thousands of tuna that come into that 40 to 60 meters range every year. We definitely, my thoughts on really is there's got to be another way.
Well, there
has to be another way to get power. Like that can't be.
Well, there is
solution.
other ways. I think that's one of the other issues is that a lot of it seems to be pandering to not so much logic, Joe, but a little bit of green ideology in the way. And we're not anti-green or anything like that.
No, definitely not. I got solar in this house. I got solar power. I
consider us fairly progressive, but a lot of it does not make a lot of logical sense. It's more like it's an ideology and it's a money-making machine for many people. Many people that probably don't need more money, Joey, big corporations and whatnot. But it's I just personally think for the environment, it can't be a good thing. And we don't like to see it, Joe. So everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I can just reiterate that I think it's worth getting knowledge is power. So gain as much knowledge as you can. And if you still feel, if you feel that you're not into it like we are, then make sure that you get down to some of the meetings that are happening throughout the affected regions and maybe right into the relevant politicians. We will revisit that down the track, but just thought we'd touch on that again because it might have got lost in all the information that was getting thrown out there last week. That's kind of our stance on it, and we'll hopefully get involved in some some of the battle and help the fishies out.
Yeah, love it. Agreed.
Now we're moving into springtime, Joey. The weather has turned. We're changing from the long pants to the shorts. What does that spell in your mind in terms of fishing?
Oh, it spells to me that if you haven't already got your boat serviced, I've been told that the queues at JV Marine World, they're queued up. My dad took the boat to service, and the boats are queued up. So
the tinnies had a service.
the annual boat servicing queues are starting to build up. So the weather's starting to change. So it only means one thing, Davey.
What's that mean, Joey?
Snapper.
Snapper. A Victorian mainstay. Very accessible species, very exciting species. Nothing really gets hype like snapper do in our part of the world, Joey. And for good reason. We've got an amazing fishery. They taste good. They fight really hard. They're beautiful looking creatures. And we're going to touch a little bit on that tonight, but we do plan on going into a little bit deeper discussion on that down the track. We'll give some tips and techniques for getting into these fish, especially early in the season, because that's when they can be tricky, but that's when you can get some really quality fish amongst them, Joe.
Absolutely. And I think in tonight's hookup segment, we're going to touch on a bit of that.
We are. We've got some reports, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the secret snapper chat's coming in a future episode, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you've told me tonight, don't go too deep into the snapper yet because we want to keep some secrets for our snapper episode.
All right, you got a deal.
All right, beautiful. Anyway, so snapper season coming. Squid season on the way, Joey. Well, shouldn't say that. Squid are all year, aren't they? But we're coming into spring, which is a really good time for the big ones. So I'm excited about that. Are you excited about that?
Excited about it, absolutely. I see it at the same time every year. Nothing worse than get into the middle of the snapper season and you go, squid, man, can't catch a squid to save myself. So maybe start thinking about getting ready for them first.
I'm thinking about it. Don't you worry about that. I just need to find time to do it. And hopefully the weather seems to be settling down a little bit so we can actually get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I'm relocating Dory to your place. So
your tinny's going to live at my house for a little bit, which is great because it means it'll be closer to the water because it's a bit of a process for you to take it out at the moment. You got to go to your old man's and grab it and wheel it under this tiny carport and
yeah. And your boat's due for a service, so that's all the planets are going to align just nicely.
So you're saying it might actually get some use this season?
I reckon it will.
Don't mind me hiccuping. Yeah, that's exciting, Joey. We're going to move right into our hookup segment because we are doing a compressed version of our podcast tonight.
Let's do it.
Hey!
Welcome to the Hookup, where we go around Australia and indeed the world for the freshest fishing reports. Well, I've got an interesting one to kick off the Hookup tonight, Joey. There's a program that Victorian Fisheries do. It's called Search for Perch. And that was run over the last week or so, over the weekend, I think it was. And it was done in the Tarwin River, which is fairly local to us.
Oh, yeah. Down at Walkerville Way.
Yeah, so our good mate Shane Lowry, I know he's done this down at the Glenelg River in the west in the past. And this one's a bit closer to home. Probably not as well publicised as a perch fishery, but nonetheless a really good one. And so this is pretty interesting, Joe. That a bunch of selected anglers go out, they catch these perch, estuary perch this is. They keep them alive, and then they get a first class flight up to Narooma Aquaculture Centre where they spawn them, and then the baby perch puppies.
Oh yeah,
what would you call them? Baby perch.
No, they're called fry.
Fry. That's it. I knew it. So
I know it from the fish tank behind us.
That's right. So they end up in all these local rivers and estuaries. So somewhere like Devil Bend Reservoir, which is close to us, probably anyone who's listening interstate has no idea where that is, but it's a small little stock reservoir. So that, for example, is stocked with these perch, and then they're more accessible to everyday anglers in more different locations. So that's a pretty cool thing that goes on.
Yeah, so the perchies are going for a little day spa.
They are. That's exactly what happens. They go for a nice flight, and then they
A flight, little spa, little massage,
up
and
to a birthing suite, and and then they come back to Victoria again. Oh, well, they get dispersed all over the state.
love
So,
the little perchies living their best life.
mate, they're actually a really cool fish. The old perch. They're like a mini barramundi, iconic in Victoria and many other places. And they go really hard. They'll brick you into the sticks if you're not careful.
Yeah, I've heard reports out at Devil Bend Reservoir, casting lures up against the tall reeds, going in there by kayak and estuary perches, apparently.
Oh, we've got to give that a go, I reckon, Joe.
Yeah.
So that's happened. On the tuna scene, as we are very into our tuna fishing, as everyone knows, the local tuna big barrels have they have slowed a little bit, but also there's been less boat traffic because of the crap weather.
It's been awful.
The bite has not been super red hot. There's still fish around, so it takes a bit of hard work and a bit of luck to get attached to one of those bad boys. There becomes a tipping point where it becomes harder and harder to catch the tuna, easier and easier to catch the snapper, and people will turn their hand to the snapper fishing, I think, Joey.
That's
Cheaper,
exactly right.
high rate of success. That's what's going to happen. That's what happens every year. Everyone just sort of slowly switches to the estuaries. So, yeah, that's going on. Down at Portland, which is probably the epicenter of tuna fishing in nearly the country, really good big tuna bite going on. Spoke to Matt Hunt briefly this evening, and he said it's going really, really good. He's got charters early next week, and he's looking forward to getting out there and get stuck into them.
Oh, saw Chris Cass put on his socials, gannet storms down at Portland.
Yeah, it was very exciting. Here's a fish here from Chris Cassar from yesterday, just under 100 kilo, and I believe he hooked at least one more today. So
Look at a beautiful fish, big long fish there, really, really wide.
Really wide, Joey. Beautiful fish. So he got that one.
Great girth.
And then we saw from another charter operator down there, Sharkman, they had 2 on board the other day. So
the double banger.
double banger of pretty good sized tuna. So that was that was also very recent. So if you don't want to drive around out in the ocean down our way, close to home, and you feel like a bit more of a guaranteed capture, then down there at Portland's going really good. Once upon a time, we'd go screaming down there right now,
Absolutely,
Joey,
we'd be screaming down there, sleeping in our cars, and all that sort of stuff.
but we've gotten too used to having it on our doorstep, and we'll probably just keep going out there and catching one in every 15 trips.
Which is good, because I just seen this week that San Remo Fishermen's Co-op is doing a cray and salad and chips box. So I'll be waiting to race offshore to go and grab that one on the way back in for next trip.
Joey only fishes in locations where there's fish and chip shops on the way in now.
Well,
So that limits us slightly.
there is it could be like a one Andrew Paws, loves a good pub in
Yep.
any fishing destination. Maybe I'm going to be the fish and chips guy.
I love the idea of being able to get good food without even taking the boat off the water. And there's places like Lakes Entrance where you can drive around, you can get a coffee. I love that. And I love the fish and chips all the way in from the tuna grounds.
And then I think at Lakes Entrance you can beat your boat and walk into McDonald's.
Yeah, I've heard you claim this before. It's obviously something you're very excited about.
Yeah. There's all day breakfast now, so don't have to whinge about undercooked bacon if someone's listening.
Mate, Macca's brekie's terrible. Don't you think? I hate it.
I love a good saucy McMuffin. Like, where else do you ever have a sausage patty? I don't see you can buy a sausage patty to make breakfast at home. So, yeah, I love a spicy sausage patty.
Each their own, Joey. Each their own. So, yeah, Portland tuna going really good. Western Port snapper I've got written down here. I saw just today Brett Reed his Briggs put a bit of a teaser of a fish that appeared to be around 82 centimetres.
Ooh.
That's a really good one. So you'll start to see a few fish in that size class coming through now. And, so just a matter of getting out there and putting the time in. Port Phillip usually takes a little bit warmer to warm up than Western Port and become consistent, but within the next couple of months, that too will start to produce some really good fishing.
Yep, absolutely.
We briefly touched on the big squid. So down at the eastern entrance of Western Port, I've heard good reports, and also down there at Flinders, although there's a menacing seal that gets stuck into the squid when you're down there. Have you met him, Joe?
No. Oh, yes. Well, I have been down at Flinders and I have been sealed before, but not recently.
Yep. So, I think it's the same one. There's literally one. I swear it's the same one. He's there all the time. He's worked it out. Most of the other idiots go out to sea hunting like pilchards and stuff. Not this guy. He goes, I'm just going to swim over here and wait for the delicious squid to be hooked and then have a feast of big Flinders squid. He's like you with your fish and chip shop, Joe.
I do recall the last time I got visited by that seal. It was I wind the clock back about I'm going to say 7 or 8 years, and there used to be fleets of Vietnamese that came out on their little boats, and my uncle who used to be his granddad used to be in the war, used to say the Viet Cong was out catching the squid, and we watched this seal go from our boat to all the Vietnamese little tinnies, and it was just whopping every squid off, and they were getting pretty upset, yelling at the seal like, "Don't get that off the."
I have to edit that out.
Okay.
That's terrible, Joe. Maybe I'll leave it in.
But you don't take my squid.
I think I might leave that in.
Okay.
Is that funny or not?
You be the judge.
Oh, you guys be the judge.
Okay.
If you're hearing this, we've left it in. Okay. Vietnamese people at Flinders catching squid.
And getting done by the seal. It was funny. Nothing more funny than seeing a Vietnamese guy go skits at a seal that's just taken his squid.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Offshore gummy sharks and school sharks out in Bass Strait there. Pretty much an all-round thing, but certainly been quite a few of them caught of recent times, Joseph, when weather allows, which is another good option. Not to everyone's liking, but a lot of people enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely.
You basically get fish like what's in your tank behind us there, huck them into chunks and hurl them into the water, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. I've seen quite a lot of 7-gill sharks come through on the Facebook feeds this week. So usually when the 7-gill sharks are about, that means the water's damn cold.
You told me I need to get this photo up. This is our friend Marty Alal.
There's another Maltese god of fishing, and
He's chin dogged,
and he's caught an absolutely whopper of a Chinook salmon at Lake Bullenmerry this week. Put your hands together for Mr. Marty Alal.
I don't know about whopper. It's better than the tiny crap ones we were catching.
Mate, we were catching little nibblers compared to that. That's a classy fish.
Look at the fingers, mate. Sorry,
Ah.
Marty. There's a bit of a holdout. No, it's a good one, but it's bigger than what we caught. But we did see some really big ones not long ago. I think a bit bigger than that one.
Yeah, we did have some friends do.
But I am impressed, and I know that they're delicious, so I'm a little bit jealous.
Yeah,
of that one. I got an international report as well, Joey.
Oh, awesome!
A 1,000-pound marlin, if I can find the photo somewhere.
A grander.
Come out of
Grander blue.
Hang on. Oh, where's my photo gone? Terrible. Anyway, that's all right. I can magically edit the photo in here now. A 1,000-pound blue marlin out of the Azores, taken on a Bonds lure and released by Sport Fishing Azores. I just thought I'd throw that in there, some tropical flavour.
Where's the Azores?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that. Hang on, I'm going to Google it.
Okay.
Do you know where it is?
No, but I'm typically gonna
Portugal.
say oh, okay.
Beautiful.
I was gonna say Pacific Ocean, but Portugal. There you go. So that'd be the Atlantic, wouldn't it?
Blue marlin really love living in nice areas, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Is
Hawaii.
Yeah,
Miami.
North Atlantic Ocean, Joey.
Florida, North Atlantic, beautiful.
We're just taking a nice journey on this podcast to the Azores right now. Another one to add to the bucket list.
Man, looks beautiful.
That's beautiful.
But
looks like craters. Do you think they've got chin dogs in there?
They might, but I tell you what, like every exotic location, fishing location in the world, I definitely think that they've got their good days and bad days. Doesn't matter how beautiful and how remote it is. Either it's on or it's not on.
Yeah, fair call. So, yeah, pretty impressed with that one. And that's basically all I've got for the fishing reports this week, Joey. The weather's been crap. Not many people have been out.
I've got another report.
Come on.
Good mate Brendan Winger, and he went up to Lake Yukonbean on the weekend with Finn.
I forgot about this.
And Josh and Pawsey, and Winger and Finn got 25 brown trout up to 5 pound on various lures.
So he wasn't going up there, and he'd lent his boat to some friends, and they called him and they'd snapped a spring in the trailer. So 7-8 hours away, and he had to run a spare spring up there, and he ended up just fishing for the weekend instead. That's how that went down.
How do you do a spring on the boat, Dave?
Well, we've done it on that trailer before on the way to the Whit Sundays.
Really?
I suspect it was full of camping gear because that's what happened last time, and it was just too much weight on there, and it just broke. But we were no any help when we did it, and we used like a bit of wood to chock up the axle, and like MacGyvered our way about 4 hours further up the road to Mackay, and we got a spring there, and we were away again.
Sweet.
Yeah. So bush mechanics, but yeah. Anyway, that's how he ended up there catching trout, Joe.
Beautiful.
Looks like they had fun too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, do we have a King Kong Donkey Kong of the week?
Oh, we hadn't really chosen one. Marty's medium-sized thingo,
Yeah, I'll give that to him.
Chinook salmon.
King Kong, Donkey Kong, mate. Look at this.
Beautiful. Love it.
I do have a grinds my gears, which I suppose I already spoiled at the start of this podcast, but I thought, why didn't I do a grinds my gears about this?
That's
last
okay.
week?
We now go to Peter Griffin for You Know What Really Grinds My Gears.
Thanks, Tom. You know what really grinds my gears?
Do you know what really grinds my gears, Joe?
What's that, Davey?
Sticking giant fucking wind turbines into the beautiful Southern Ocean and ruining the view and ruining the bloody ocean seafloor, damaging animals, maiming animals, setting on fire probably. It grinds my gears.
There's got to be a better way. I don't want the wind turbines either. There's got to be another way to get power.
Mankind constantly having to try and ruin the earth, actually, if I could generalize that a bit more, grinds my gears.
Yep. Very, very well said.
Yeah, I think it is. So, Joey, I reckon that nearly wraps us up, unless you've got anything else to add for this short and sharp podcast.
No, that's very, very good. We will definitely catch you all next time on Wind Against Tide.
Thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you next week, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And another quick point, boat show coming up 26th to 29th of October at the Docklands in Melbourne, and we'd love to see you all there. We're going to have some merch and we'll be live recording, so come on down and we'd love to meet you. Joe's not going to be there. He's on another never-ending holiday, but I'll be there.
Yep, I'm returning to exotic fishing in Lake Thailand, and I'm also attending a wedding, so I'll have a great video for you guys.
Ultimate
ready.
ping pong fishing.
Yeah, we'll do some ping pong balls. Maybe I'll use some ping pong balls as floats for in the lake. But yeah, I'll see you when I get back.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Joey, and have a good night. See you later, everyone.
See you next time.